this? Billy. Billy's back.
One seems to hear words of the chip from everywhere, feeling the air. Oh, how they come praising the sun, my intelligence. Gaining by people sing songs of the chip, Christmas is here.
Thank you so much for everyone's support. We really couldn't have done it without you.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? The date today is, what is it? It's Thursday, September the 3rd, 2020, 11:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. And this is episode 99 of McRae Live. 99! It's the 100th episode, next episode, but that episode won't be tomorrow. And there's a reason for that, which I'll explain in a couple of moments. Folks, we did it. I know what you're probably thinking, holy shit, we're talking about It's Me, Billy again. Well, this will probably be the last episode where we talk about it for a little bit, at least in this sort of way. Because once you move into pre-production, the updates get sort of far and few between until you kind of launch into production, because everybody starts to buckle down and things become kind of quiet because we're working really hard behind the scenes to secure everything. So I needed to jump on here and I needed to sort of really make this official, at least on the channel. I did sort of do that last week. When I knew that we had crossed the 100% mark, I said that it had officially been greenlit, but we have officially moved into pre-production on It's Me, Billy. And we've been sort of, once we hit 50% of our production budget in the first week or 5 days, I think it was. I mean, again, we knew that that pace was not sustainable and that there are ebbs and flows in every campaign, but we knew that we better start sort of simultaneously working on a bit of pre-production while this campaign is on, which we have been doing. So it's not like we've just started pre-production now, but it is official. We are well into pre-production, and it's really exciting. Really, really exciting. Bruce is, the reason why episode 100 will not be tomorrow is because Bruce is coming over to my place tomorrow at about 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's going to spend all day here, and we're going to do our very best to finish the shot list. So we have about another 8 pages, I think, to go, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're breaking 8 pages down shot by shot, that can take an entire day. That can take an entire day, maybe even 2 days, depending on, what we break down and sort of what we want there to be. So, so that's why there will not be a 100th episode tomorrow, just to let everybody know that. Let me see here. Just want to make sure everything's okay. It is, 1 second here. What's going on? Ooh, what's going on? Oh, wait a minute. So make sure we're okay and we're on. We are on. Yes, we are on. There was a bit of a hiccup there. And you know me and the hiccups, I like to make sure everything's okay, but everything seems to be okay. So we're deep into pre-production. I mean, let's just put it that way. And shot list is almost completed, and then we're meeting with our DP, Greg, very soon. And then we're going to start assembling the rest of the crew very soon. And then, we start into, I mean, it's hard to explain without giving any spoilers away, but just know we are well into pre-production, and we are aiming to shoot at the end of November. That is what it is. So if COVID-19, doesn't rear its ugly head like crazy again, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will go to camera probably the last week of November. And if it does, and it does so much so that it's like everything is shut down again and we just can't do this, then we would have to push it into next year, which we don't want to do. So we're really hoping that if there is a second wave, it's nothing huge. And that maybe it's little spikes here and there, but we can still continue to do what we do, implementing, the proper procedures and protocols as it relates to COVID-19. However, if there is a gigantic, like the COVID strikes back kind of thing, like, the Empire strikes back, well then, there's nothing we can do and we have to shut everything down and delay. But the good news about, because I was talking about this with Cecil as well, the good news about having or being in this position, it's never, because Dylan's New Nightmare is still happening, folks. It's still happening. It may not be happening till next year. I can't speak fully on that. Cecil can. But it is happening. And as frustrating as the delay is, and it is frustrating for him, I know it is. It's frustrating for us too. He ran a successful campaign. He raised the money that he needed to raise. And now it's just a matter, it's kind of like, wait, sort of do the things that you need to do, fine tune things. But he's got the production budget. So it has been greenlit, which is a good thing. The same now with It's Me, Billy. 3 or 4 months ago, that wasn't the case. We were confident that we were going to make something. We were confident that we were going to, because there were a lot of you that were very excited, and we were confident that we would do fairly well. But it wasn't a guarantee that this thing was going to go, because we often said that if we don't make our production budget, depending on how little we make, like if we only made, $5,000, we would probably just refund that to everybody. But if we made $40,000, then we would go, well, maybe we can take a portion of this and shoot it, show everybody, what to expect, and then raise them, the rest to shoot the rest. You see people do that all the time. So we were thinking long-term like that. We were thinking ahead, but we didn't know. But the good news is that we have raised our budget and a little bit more, which is great. So now, even if it does get delayed, and fingers crossed that it won't, but hypothetically, if it does, and we can't shoot at the end of November, which is going to suck because we're so excited. But even if that's the case, we at least have the budget. And now it's just a matter of, okay, it won't be November, it'll be February. Or, it won't be February, it'll be March. Obviously it has to be, there doesn't have to be snow on the ground, but it has to be a time of year that you can feasibly believe that it is Christmas time. It's that, it's the holidays. Now, traditionally, of course, if there's lots of snow, and that's great. But as you know, anybody who lives in the Northeast or, the Midwest or here in Canada, we get a lot of, I don't want to say green Christmases because that makes it sound like it's like, summertime, but Christmases without snow. It's cold, it's cloudy, dreary, but there's no snow. There's no snow. That happens all the time, and so as long as it's believable that you can look at and go, yeah, okay, yeah, I believe that this is, that time of year. It's dreary, it's cloudy, there's no leaves on the trees, it's that time of year. You know what I mean? So that's important. So we can't shoot this thing in the spring or the summer or the fall. It can be shot late fall, which is what we're sort of trying to do when all the leaves are off the trees. But it certainly can't be shot in, May, June, July, August, September, October. So if it does get pushed, if we can't shoot at the end of November and it does get pushed, then we're looking at probably, February, March, something like that. Yo, Dave, can you answer my super chat? Yeah, in fucking time. Be patient. Be patient. I'll get to it. What are you, new? No, just relax. I'm busting your balls. I'll get to it. Patience, folks. Patience. So it's that kind of thing where if it does get pushed, then obviously it would get pushed into like I said, well, January, February, March. But we'll see. I mean, fingers crossed that we don't get a second wave. And if we do, it's marginal. It's just little spikes here and there, but nothing that would shut us down completely. The proper protocols are in place. They have to be. We can't shoot this film and not have it. We have to abide by the laws that have been set for the rules and regulations that have been set forth by the Ministry of Labour of Ontario as it relates to film and television production here in Canada. So we're going to do everything we can to mitigate it. And the great news about our shoot is that it's not like we have, several different locations. So for the most part, it's one location. That's not a spoiler. It's one location. And cast and crew will be sort of confined to this location. So there's not a lot of coming and going. So if everybody gets tested beforehand, everybody is clear, we do temperature checks, everybody's good to go, and we're all in this one location together, and nobody's coming and going every 5, seconds, then we should be okay. We should be okay. And we have to remember too that other colds are still out there. I mean, just because COVID-19 is out there doesn't mean that the common cold has gone away. So just because somebody gets a sniffle or a sore throat, we have to take the precautions, of course, because we don't know. But, we're not going to freak out and lose our minds because it could just be somebody who's under the weather for something completely different. So, we have to keep that in mind too. But anyway, so I just wanted to say, thank you to everybody who has contributed and donated to the campaign. You guys are amazing. We could not have done this without you. You guys have made this a reality. I am still floored that we raised the amount that we did. And we are going to be able to deliver now on, and again, there's no guarantee that you're going to like the movie. We always, of course, hope that you do. But we're going to do the best we can to deliver a Black Christmas fan film that people can be proud of. And like I said, this is high production value. You have now given us the opportunity to rent the gear and the cinematic cameras that we will be able to deliver on. Somebody asked me the other day, what cameras are we looking to shoot on? That's not set in stone yet, but I know our DP is interested in the Arri Mini, which of course, they shot parts of Joker on that, and they shot parts of The Irishman on that. They shoot, Blade Runner 2049, parts of that was shot on the Arri Mini. So they shoot on, there's the Mini, there's the Mini, the Alexa, the Amira, there's all sorts of kinds, right? The Arri Mini is smaller, it's more compact. But if we get to shoot on this thing, which is what our DP wants to shoot on, which we can do now, we just have to sort of, talk to him about it, talk to him about shots, lenses, all that kind of stuff, and see if that is indeed the case of the direction that we're going to go. It looks like it is, but it's not 100% yet. But yeah, if anything, if nothing else, this movie will look spectacular. It's going to look spectacular, if nothing else. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of else in there too. I'm not too worried about that, but it's going to look fantastic because we're shooting on cinematic cameras, the stuff they shoot Hollywood films on. So, and we couldn't have done that without you. And that's really exciting. There's reasons why Never Hike in the Snow looks as good as it does. If I'm not mistaken, I think they shot that on the Red Epic, which they shoot Hollywood films on. So that's why it looks as good as it does. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going for as well. And thanks to you, that's what it will be. That's what it will be. So very excited. You guys are amazing. There's nothing more I can say that hasn't been said already, but Billy is back. We are in full-fledged pre-production. Everybody is excited. And I'm giddy. I was over at Bruce's last night till about 1:30 in the morning. We were working on the shot list and got home about 2 a.m. And then, like I said, he's coming over tomorrow. So that's why, in case you're just joining us, that's why there will not be a episode 100 tomorrow. It will be pushed to, well, probably next Tuesday. It's possible that you might find McRae live over the next, I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying 100%, but it's possible you may find a bit of juggling with my channel over the next little bit. The schedule may be sort of a bit wonky from time to time because of everything that's going on. Because now it's not like it just gets more intense now. You know what I mean? It just, now we're in full-fledged pre-production. And yes, it's a short film, and it's a short film that's, $60,000, but it's at a high level. It's a professional short film. So we're going through all of the stages and the processes of shooting a movie. So you might find that there may be some times where I'm like, I know there's a McRae live tomorrow, but there's not going to be because I have this meeting or I have that meeting, or, we're getting together with these people or whatever the case is. But maybe not. Maybe it'll actually even itself out. Who knows? We'll see. But just a reminder for that. So, yes, thanks, guys. You guys are amazing. We're in it. Pre-production, baby. Pre-production. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? Edwin A. Sordo says, it's me, Billy, nominated for Best Picture. Yeah, that'd be funny. MJS Lawrence says, I'm already looking forward to the next project, whatever that is. You never know. We're sort of not thinking about that at the moment. We got to get through this one first. But certainly, yes, there's lots of things we have rolling around in the Rolodex up top. Warren Armour says, love those rack polls, drone shots, butt shots, shoot it for the fans, tell the story. Are you just talking in general? You love rack focuses and drone shots and butt shots? I don't know butt shots? It's B-U-T instead of B-U-T-T. I'm not sure what you mean. But yes, we are very consciously aware that, yes, there is some fan service in this movie. That's not a spoiler. We want to deliver something. We're pushing the narrative forward. Again, this isn't a when I say it's not a slasher, it's not like what Vince is doing with Never Hike. Never Hike in the Snow. I mean, we are paying homage to the original. So this is more psychological, more nuanced. This is more theater of the mind. Okay. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be a little something, but this is more theater of the mind than anything else. So it's not like you're going to have, blood spraying all over the place and heads being torn off. And it's not that kind of movie. But we want to, we want to deliver something for the fans, that deserve a proper Black Christmas movie, and which is a little sort of follow-up to the original, pushes the narrative forward while keeping answers some questions, but creates new ones. And that's the key. And that's what's fun. Okay, let's see here. William Anderson says, how do you handle trolls? That idiot Hafer was mind. Oh, I know what you're talking about, William. How do I handle trolls? Well, I mean, I don't really. And if I do, because I get so many comments, depending on the video, right? But I get so many messages to my Facebook and comments, and sometimes I get some DMs on Twitter. And, as I always say, I can't respond to everybody. It's just not possible. And sometimes people write long things, and I just don't have time to read it. If you want to up the probability of me responding to you, always do your best to keep it short and sweet. And it's not that I don't care about how you feel. It's just that I don't care about how you feel, if you know what I mean. Like, and I don't mean that personally, but it's kind of like, I just don't have time. I don't know you personally, so I don't have time to sit there and read this whole, as much as I might want to, I just don't have the time. It's not personal. I love you guys. It's not personal. But the best thing is always kind of like to keep it short and sweet. And when I say short and sweet, I don't mean like, a sentence. I mean, you can write, a small paragraph, but something that is on the shorter side. And yeah, there's a gentleman who I've had to block on this channel. And, you know, I don't like doing that. But yes, he became an issue because he wasn't a big fan of what I was doing with It's Me, Billy. Thought I was just money hungry and I should go out and just do this and do this. But he's been saying these things for 3 years. He has been very redundant and sort of just kind of saying the same things over and over and over again. 3 years ago, I explained it all to him. And it all started when I launched my Patreon. And he said something, and I'll keep him nameless, but he said something to the effect of, I made a post and I said, if you join level number 3, that's for the McRae's, like the real hardcore fans of the channel, right? And he said something to the effect of, well, I don't want to join that. And I'm a hardcore fan. So does that mean I'm not a hardcore fan? And I reached out to him and I said, no, not at all. Everybody's a hardcore fan. I'm just saying that this on my Patreon is for the hardcore fan. Like if you're a hardcore fan, this might interest you. That's what that means, right? And, you know, and I explained everything to him, but it's just a guy who's been reiterating the same things over and over and over and over and over again. And so I reached out to him the other day. He got into some sort of thing with William Anderson, and Tony as well had to step in and say a few things. He just was, he wasn't, I wouldn't call it trolling, William. I wouldn't call it trolling. I would just say somebody who is either like I said to him, either incredibly stupid and ignorant, or conceited and lacks so much objective awareness. I don't really know what, I don't consider him a troll though. I just consider him somebody that pops up and just starts, you know, it's the kind of person that just doesn't like the product, but just likes to bitch and complain every day about the product. And it's like, we get it. You don't like it. It's okay. You don't have to watch. You know, but you don't have to. Anyways, he was ruining the enjoyment for a lot of people who were very excited about It's Me, Billy raising its production budget. So I reached out to him and I said, listen, I'm not blocking you because you're expressing your opinion of me. I don't care if your opinion is positive or negative, as long as it's not racist or you know, there isn't something that leans that way in the comments section. You can call me a fucking idiot all you want in the comments and I will not remove it. Now, if you don't see it there, it might have gone to spam because YouTube's algorithms can pick up on certain words. So be very careful when you're dissing me to use certain words that are going to get past the algorithms, because if you don't, you know, if you use a lot of swear words or whatever, then I don't remove it. YouTube does. And it automatically just picks it up and throws it into the spam thing. And I don't even see it because I hardly even check that. So, but I don't care about that stuff. So I said to him, that's not why you're being removed and blocked. You're being blocked because you are redundant, repetitive, and you are ruining the enjoyment for others now. And we've told you what the situation is. You know what the situation is, but you persist that this is not the way that you want it. Well, I'm sorry, but you don't run the show. Create your own YouTube channel and do that, but so yes, that's who William is talking about. It was the other day. It was just a guy who's been doing that for a long time. And I hate doing that. I hate blocking people because, you know, I want everybody to feel like we all belong here. And it doesn't mean we're all going to get along. And it doesn't mean we're all going to agree. But to say some of the things and to insinuate some of the things that he was saying was just, you know, it got to the point where it's like, dude, like, you know, are you okay? You know, are you unhappy in your life or something? Because, like, you know, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Anyway, SPC Bird 317 1993 says a $5 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, hey, Dave, super happy for you and Bruce. Thank you so much. You guys deserve it. Would you guys ever consider making a big budget Halloween film? Well, I don't know. I mean, consider it, sure. I think it's just, again, Halloween is such a saturated fan film space, and I think there's more of an opportunity to be shut down. Like when you start, you know, because it's go big or go home now. In my mind, okay? In my mind, All right. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody sees it that way. But in my mind, once we make It's Me, Billy, because like I said, we're shooting on cinematic pro shit. It's going to look like something you'd see in the movie theater. We can't go back. And so every film we do then, I mean, that's sort of the bar, right? It's like Vince. I mean, Vince shot on the Red Epic, as far as I know, for Never Hike in the Snow. Well, he's not going to go back and shoot on a DSLR for Never Hike Again. I mean, it's not going to happen, right? He's going to want to continue to top himself, and because that's what people expect. So to do what we're doing with It's Me, Billy with Halloween is, although the folks at Trancas and they've become a little more lenient over the years, I don't know. I would feel more nervous about producing a Halloween film at that level, because if we did that, it would look literally just as good as Halloween 18. In terms of production value and quality, that's what it would look like. Because those are the cameras we're shooting on. And I'd be like, oh, I don't know if they would, I think they might, you know what I mean? It'd be a little worrisome to me. I don't know how they would feel about that. But maybe not. I mean, maybe if it's a short film and we have fan film all over the place, maybe they would embrace it and throw it on like the 50th anniversary. Who knows? It's so hard to gauge. It's Me, Billy is a little easier because there's a lot of originality in It's Me, Billy. But we'll see. We'll see. It probably won't be the next film. You know, I'm sort of Halloweened out a little bit. I would love to do that. I would. It'd be great. But at that point, I just would be like, yeah, I don't know. Never say never, but right now I'm sort of Halloweened out. You know, I had my time with fan films. At one time, the fan films I was doing, I'm talking about like 10 years ago, you know, like in 09 and 10 and 11, they were the best fan films online. Oh yeah. I remember that because there were hardly any. And I was like the fan film king. And then everybody got the fan film buzz and started creating fan films and then making fan films that have blown mine out of the water. You know what I mean? And that's great. Like, that's what you want. You want to, you know, top each other and inspire people. And that's amazing. That's amazing. But for us to deliver a Halloween fan film, you know, like you said, it would be of that quality. I'm a little nervous when it comes to Halloween at that level. Because I think I don't know. That makes me a little nervous. But we'll see. You know, you never know, man. You never know. You never, ever know. Okay, let's see here. Let me go back. We got Zgo RZ Skate 45 says, did I actually miss out on the Blu-ray? Well, you did. If you didn't get it, yes, the campaign is done. The campaign ended. I was advertising. I don't know if you have social media, but if you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on Facebook, Many Things Dave McRae, in the community section here on YouTube, I've been posting about it all week. You know, 36 hours left, 16 hours left, you know, yeah, and it ended, the campaign ended at 3:00 in the morning Eastern Standard Time this morning. So it's over. You cannot purchase anything via the campaign now. Now, however, let me talk to Bruce and see, you know, let's let things settle for a bit because the campaign just ended. And let's move into pre-production here. And it's possible, I can't guarantee anything, but it's possible that we'll crunch some numbers. We'll see where we're at. We'll look at the logistics of things, figure out how we want to do it. And we may be able to, you know, maybe put up some t-shirts and a Blu-ray still for sale if you reach out to us privately or something like that. And you would get all the perks and everything that, you know, that you get, but it's not 100% because the whole purpose of the campaign is, you know, we don't want to sort of also, you know, it's important that that also remains on the campaign. That's the purpose of the campaign, you know, and the campaign was up for 2 months. And if you didn't get the Blu-ray, then you're not going to want the Blu-ray. I mean, obviously it wasn't as, and I'm not saying it's not important to you. I'm just saying there were a lot of people that were like, I know I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I've got it. I'm getting it. You know, I had a lot of people say, I'm getting it tomorrow. I'm getting it tomorrow. I've got the money. I'm getting it tomorrow. Great. And never did. Well, obviously it's obviously not a priority, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But then to say after the fact, hey, I want the Blu-ray, you know, I want the Blu-ray. Well, that's the breaks. You know, the campaign's done. However, like I said, it's possible that we may figure something out. I can't guarantee anything, but I just want to let you know that it is possible. But yes, the campaign ended last night. And Edwin Sordo says, yeah, Dave's going to have to make a lot of Blu-rays. Well, yeah, it won't be me. It'll be a company making them. But yes. Oh, yeah, there'll be about probably between 350, 400 Blu-rays that'll be made. And that's nothing compared to what Vince has to do. Vince has to make thousands of Blu-rays. It's insane. It's insane. But Edwin, Zigo R Skate 45. Just hang tight. Just fingers crossed, and we'll see what happens, okay? We'll see what happens. I really appreciate your support, man. Really, really do. DMT Infinity says, Dave, I could be thinking too deeply into it, but what if Karen's phone says November 2nd and Halloween 18 because she hates October, so she somehow manually changed the date or something like that? You're thinking too hard into it. Yep, no, you're thinking way too hard into it. Because it would make no sense, because it doesn't, I can almost guarantee you with absolute certainty that's not why. Because unless you are pausing it at the exact moment and looking for it, you would never know. So it's irrelevant. That date could have said, it's irrelevant. If there was focus on the date and the phone focused on the date, maybe. But no, it's a prop phone. It's a prop phone that had the wrong fucking date. Is what it was. It doesn't, let me see here. Let me scroll back. And I don't think I missed any super chats. Yes, I did not. I got them, which is always good. Always good. Okay. And then who do we have here? We got that super chat. Just want to get the super chats here. And Mystery Emoji Films says, Dave, which Halloween ending do you think is superior, excluding 78? 3, 4, or 7? 4. 4 by a fucking mile. 4 by a mile. There's just, to me, there's no competition. Please explain why you didn't choose the other two. Thanks. Well, because I think H4 is the most shocking and surprising. I think it's the most surprising for a variety of reasons. I just don't like Halloween H2O. I don't like the movie. I don't like the fact that we see his eyes. I don't like the fact that he's reaching for Laurie and they're doing the hand thing and the whole like, yeah, but Dave, that's actually the paramedic. No, but in the movie it was fucking Michael Myers. But they knew that they were going to come back and make another one. In the movie it was Michael Myers. And I think it's stupid. And I think that's dumb that, I don't believe it. I don't believe what they're selling. Mustafa Akkad, love you. Rest in peace. It's shitty what happened to you and your grandfather. But you made some poor ass decisions. You made dog shit decisions. He did. Dave, yes, he did. He made dog shit decisions. And there were some decisions he didn't approve that were actually better. Anyway, I don't like the movie. And I don't like the way Michael's portrayed in that movie. And the idea of chopping off the head, well, that's cool, but if you don't have everything else around it that's cool, it falls flat for me. And then, of course, you continue the movie. It falls flat. I think, and you saw it coming. I mean, she's got the axe in her hand. He's lying there. What is she going to do with it? You kind of saw it coming. Halloween 3, I mean, it's fine, but I mean, it's just sort of, I don't know, ends on a cliffhanger. I think in order, I'd go 4, 3, 7. But 3 is, 3 is okay. But 4 is the one that I think is the most shocking because it's cyclical and it brings it full circle, which is also very important. And you can say that with H2O in terms of Laurie meeting her fate. I can understand that. I just don't like the movie. I think I like Halloween 4. I think Halloween 4 is a better movie than Halloween H2O. And I don't think Halloween 4 is a great movie. Not by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's better than Halloween H2O. Halloween H2O just feels too Dawson's Creek to me, too like the setting and it's just too 90s. It's just, I don't know. I don't like Michael's portrayal and I don't like you see his eyes and, I mean, like what is, it's just, it's too Scream to me. It's not as self-aware as Scream, but obviously it's got that little vibe to it. And whereas 4 is not a great movie, but 4 at least it takes itself more. I don't know. 4 is just a better ending. I think it's shocking. It's much more cyclical and full circle, I think, in the sense of that you have, because I think, yeah, it's just a better ending. It's just better with Loomis. No, and he's there, and it's the girl at the top of the stairs, like, oh my God, it's starting again. You know, and I'm probably going to do a standalone video on this, but I'm going to say this. Look, Halloween 1 is a standalone. It is. And I think that's where it should have ended. But you go on to 2. Okay, you go on to 2. That's a great ending. Burning alive. Alive. Yeah, that's great. Great ending. But you know, if they had ended the entire fucking thing, can you imagine if at the end of the whole series, now this has probably pissed a lot of people off, but it wouldn't me. Can you imagine if the end of the whole series was Dr. Loomis at the bottom of those stairs? No! You know, and Jamie at the top going, and just cuts to black, credits roll. It's the end of the whole fucking thing. The end of the whole, and it can be. That could be the end of the whole fucking thing. And we never got another Halloween movie ever. Oh my God, what a you think it's powerful now? You think it's powerful now? Imagine if there was no 5, 6, 7, Resurrection, Rob Zombie 1 and 2, or even 18. Imagine that. Oh my God, one of those like, do you remember that ending? Oh, that'd be wild. That'd be wild. So I just think 4 is the most surprising. It's the most shocking. I think people, when you watch it, not now, of course, but maybe assume that it was Michael, you know, and then you find that it's the girl, and it's a gender reversal, but it's not. We don't need to know what happened next. We don't need to see her become the killer. We don't need to see another movie with her as the killer. That is the perfect ending, because it becomes full circle, right back where it began. And Loomis is like, no, like, what a great fucking ending. Great ending, you know, and the message of the whole theme of Michael is still intact, that you can't kill the boogeyman. You can't kill evil. You know what I mean? There he is. And it's not that what was in Michael, I know there's they kind of allude to that a little bit, I guess. And okay, I mean, because you know what? Okay, because by 4, he's literally supernatural anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I think that would have been great. So yeah, 3 is fine, but I just 3, I sort of like, I like 3, but I don't like it as much as some people. So it's fine. It's a good ending. But H2O, man, I just think H2O is just, you know. But 4, yeah, 4 is where it's at. For me, 4 is definitely where it's at for me. And I think out of the 3 of them, it is the most unpredictable, the most shocking. I think it's the most shocking, and the one that best brings evil full circle. Evil full circle. There you go. I guess I could have just said that from the beginning, but you know me. I like to go off on my tangents when we're talking Halloween. Intel Wild says, for Frank Riker being a great mod. Yes, all my mods are great, but Frank's one of the OG. Well, Frank is the OG. He was my first moderator. Frank the Tank was my first moderator. Zed Goar, Zed Skate 45 says, COVID rocked me financially, even set an alarm for 3 this morning. Oh no, sorry I couldn't hop on your Indiegogo instant during a pandemic, dude. No, that's okay. Hey, listen, like I said, there's no, I understand that. I understand that. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying before. I'm not talking about you. I was talking about those that said, hey, I've got the money. I'm going to buy it tomorrow. Because there were a lot of people that said that. There were a lot of people that reached out to me and said, hey, I've got the money. Is the campaign? Yes, it's up. You got like 3 weeks left. Great. I'm going to get it today. Never did. I'm going to get it tomorrow. Never did. Oh, so sorry, dude. So I'm going to get it this weekend. Never did. I'm talking about those people, right? If those people didn't end up getting anything, well, it's obviously not important to them, right? It's not as important to them as maybe they want. they wanted it to be to them or wanted me to think it was, right? That's what I'm talking about. If COVID rocked you financially and you just can't afford it, I understand 100%. I understand 100%. 100%. But what Bruce and I have to be careful of, and I'm sure you understand, is that once we start doing it for one person and people get wind of it, there might be a lot of people coming forward. Well, hang on a second. I didn't get one. Oh, wait. So you said, well, I didn't get one either. Well, I didn't get one. So we have to be fair to everybody across the board. And we have to go back and look at how can we reasonably do this, handle the logistics of taking everybody's name and everything as well, because you have to remember too that Indiegogo automatically does that for us. It handles the addresses, the zip codes, the postal codes, the countries, the stats, everything for us while the campaign is on. We don't have to do anything. It's got pie charts and graphs and stats, and it's amazing. But once the campaign is done and people want to buy, well, that's up to us. Now we have to handle everybody's addresses and zip codes. And so it's a logistical thing as well. And we don't want, we want to be fair to people. We want to be fair to people. Because people might be like, well, hang on a sec. No, I want one. Well, I want one. Well, no, I want one. Well, I want one. And then we got another 5, which you might think, well, isn't that good that people want to? Well, yes, but it's the logistical side of it as well that we have to handle. It's entirely possible, like what Vince has done with, Never Hike in the Snow. Keep this in mind too. It's also possible that we may run another very short campaign early next year or next year, right? Vince launches the trailer for Never Hike in the Snow, and then he launches a 2-week campaign for those that may not have been able to get Blu-rays, right? He does that. Smart business move. Launch the trailer, launch this little 2-week campaign for people that may not have got Blu-rays before. Smart. It's good business, right? This is what it's about. It's not personal, it's business. So, and that's smart. So we might do something like that too. So just know that it's not personal. Totally understand, dude. Take care of yourself and your family first. That's what comes first, man. That's what comes first. But just know that it's not a lost cause at the moment. Just give myself and Bruce some time to figure that all out, and we'll see where we're at. Okay? We'll see where we're at. But props to you, man, for handling your shit first, because that's what comes first. That's what comes first, man. You're a great supporter of the channel. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those that were like, yeah, I'm going to do it. 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 And this never did. And it's like, well, I guess it just wasn't important to them, right? And kept telling us that they were going to, but never did. That's what I'm talking about. Not you, man. So let's see here. Frank Riker says, Dave, here's one. What if Loomis has his gun on Jamie, but Meeker has his gun on Loomis, telling him to put the gun what if Loomis has his gun on Jamie, but Meeker has his gun on Loomis? Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. So who shot who? That's not bad, Frank. I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. I like that idea. Zed Go Rskate 45 says, sent you $12 in super chat just to find out if I could get a Blu-ray. Clearly I want one. I'm not saying you don't want one. Again, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about others that have reached out and said, hey, I want one. I'm going to get one tomorrow, but never do. Hey, I want one. I'm going to get one today, but never do. And keep saying that. You've never done that. That's who I'm talking about. But you have to give us, it's not personal, buddy. It's business. You have to give us some time to figure out the logistics of this, okay, and how we're going to handle all this. But just know, like I said, it's not a lost cause, okay? But we have to do what we have to do to make sure that we're handling it properly and the streamlining of all this. This is a big undertaking, right? There's a lot of moving parts here, okay? So just give us some time, and it's entirely possible that we may figure out how to do that before, or we may have a 2-week campaign launch when we launch our trailer or a teaser or something like that for those that may not have been able to get a Blu-ray. So just know, okay, I'm not questioning that you don't want one. No, you clearly want one. There's a lot of people that do, dude. 100%. 100%. I'm talking about the people that were messaging me like once a week saying that they're going to get one and just never do. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Just so we're clear, you're a great supporter of the channel, and I have no doubt that you'll get that Blu-ray. You just had to give us some time to figure it all out. The campaign just ended. Let me see. Joanna from Canada sends in a very generous super chat. Thank you so much, Joanna, and says, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Yes, 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 Joanna, you are absolutely correct. It's Me, Billy, a Christmas movie? Billy is back. Maybe. Well, yeah, I guess in some ways it is a Christmas movie, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It's Me, Billy would be it's a short film again, folks, but I would definitely say that it is a Christmas movie. Robert Thidoff says, Dave, will you try to rent a snow machine for It's Me, Billy if the price is reasonable? If we wanted a snow machine, we'd have to have raised probably another $20,000, $30,000 because you have to think of the area that we need to cover. Right? We need to cover a lot of area. You know, we're not just doing a little bit of snow in somebody's front yard. We need to make the entire property. That's something like, I don't know how many acres. It's gigantic. It's gigantic. I mean, this is a mansion. This is like a 12-bedroom mansion that was built in the 1870s. I mean, this is huge. So it's got servant quarters. That's how big this place is. So in order to do that, if the price was right, yeah, if we had more time and we were there for, because it takes time to ramp all that up and to spray all, the snow down. But depending on what the temperature's like and how fast is the snow going to melt, there's a large area. I looked into, it's a massive undertaking, because there's just so much, and we got to get, the roof of the house, and we got to get the property, and it's like, you can't just have one little bit. Because there's certain shots we want to get of the property and it's got to look like it's wintertime. It's got to look believable. If you're going to go the snow route, you don't want it to look like, oh, they have snow in this little patch, but they have snow nowhere else. So for a snow machine to do that, the footage that would have to cover is just a massive undertaking. And you have to have, and you got to hire a crew that knows how to do it, that knows how to make the snow, that knows how to operate the machines. I mean, folks, there are people that are hired just to run generators. You have to have a license, depending on the generator, you have to have a license to run it. So, you got to think about that too. Sometimes you have people on crew that are just a Jenny op. That's all they are. They run the generators because they're licensed to do it. So there's a lot of moving parts to this, and a lot of things that I'm learning about too. That is my first experience into this as well. I mean, there's a lot of things I already know, but there's a lot of things that I've learned as well, just on this process of doing this. So, we would have to, I don't know how to run a snow machine. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You'd have to hire not just the cost of the machine and the cost of the snow and the time of making all the snow, but you have to have the operator that knows how to do it, and thousands more. So no, Robert, unfortunately, as much as we would have, if this was a $10 million shoot and it was a real production that, was, yeah, no problem. Let's do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, not in our price point, unfortunately, not in our price point. The best case scenario is that it snows. Best case scenario, right? Worst case scenario is that it's, for whatever reason, a very unusually hot November and it's like 30 degrees out, and you know what I mean? Which is not likely. So yeah, that'd be awesome, but unfortunately, a little out of our price point there. Zed Goart Skate 45 says, understood, man. Okay, cool. Yeah, totally, man. Like, we're on the same page. Dude. I love you, man. All right. Yeah, just give us some time. And we'll figure all that out. Robert Kitzmiller says, do you think you would ever write a comedy? And if you had a budget to make a feature-length comedy, who are two actors you would hire to work together? Actors, I have no idea. Comedy would be very hard to write. I do know that if I was going to write a comedy, I would want to write it with my buddy Bruce, because there's something about, look, we've known each other for nearly 30 years. We were making amateur home movies in the 90s. Here we are making our first real professional film. It's it's a short, not a feature, but it's going to blow you away. I would want to work with him because there's so many inside jokes that we have and so many absurd, stupid things that we've riffed on each other about and off each other, and stories that we just, like Bruce and I, when we're together and we're not serious working and we're just in like fun mode, we can riff back and like we have each other in stitches all the time. And I would love to write a comedy with him that is just silly. It would be a silly comedy. You know, it wouldn't be like an ironic comedy or it wouldn't necessarily be a witty comedy. Although there might be some wit to it, but certainly I think a slapsticky, fun, goofy movie, I would love to write with him. It would just, to get that out there, I think would be amazing and would be fun. I don't know if people would find it funny because it's stuff that we find funny, but I think it's stuff most people would find funny too. And then we'd have to figure out a story and characters, but characters, I don't know, because I'm not a big fan of comedies today. I'm really not. I think, I don't know, I miss the old school comedies. You know, comedies today are very, I don't know, they tend to be overly vulgar and I don't know, not every comedy, but it's hit and miss for me. I miss the old comedies, you know, the situational comedies that didn't rely on sex or gratuitous language or, you know, it's not that doesn't have its place. It's okay, but I don't know. We'll see. Two actors though, I have no idea. Who's a comedian? Like Seth Rogen? No. I mean, I don't hate Seth Rogen, but you know, he tends to be in one kind of comedy all the time. I like Jack Black. I really do like Jack Black. I think Jack Black is funny, and I think he can do silly comedy without it being like just dumb. Do you know what I mean? Like really dumb. I like Jack Black a lot. So he's somebody that I might consider, you know, and I'm an unabashed fan of Melissa McCarthy. I love her. I think she's great. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I really couldn't give a frog's fat ass if you agree with me or not. I love her. I think she's great. I think she's hilarious. Not in everything she does. I think she's been the funniest in the movies that Paul Feig has directed. And of course, I know he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way by directing the Ghostbusters remake. Fine. But he also did Bridesmaids, which was hilarious. He also did The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, which I thought was really good. And he did Spy with Melissa McCarthy, which was really good. And I think Bridesmaids, The Heat, and Spy are her strongest films and her funniest films. I also quite like Identity Thief, which I thought was, you know, good. But as far as like Tammy, Life of the Party, you know, not that great. And they're directed by her real life husband, Ben Falcone, I think his name is. And I'm kind of like, maybe you shouldn't be teaming up with him a lot. I mean, I know he's your husband and maybe you just don't give a fuck anymore because you're a millionaire, you've made it, and it's cute. You know, you get to work with your husband. And I get that. Okay, awesome. You don't really care if it's successful or not. But, you know, I would like to see her maybe team up with Paul Feig again. I think she's funny. But not every movie she's done is funny. But I think she's very talented. And I think she's exceptionally talented as a dramatic actress as well. I think she's fantastic. So I don't know. Maybe her and Jack Black as a married couple. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I have no idea. But definitely I would like to write it. Yeah, but that would be tough, man. That'd be tough. Comedy's not easy. Mystery Moji Film sends a super chat and says, it's crazy to think that JLC is only 14 years older than Nev Campbell. Rob Zombie could make another 29th anniversary remake in 5 years. Yeah, that's true. Well, Sean Connery is only 12 years older than Harrison Ford. So when they were playing father and son in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Sean Connery was just 12 years older. Certainly not old enough to be his father. I mean, you know, maybe from a weird, creepy point of view, but in the big picture, you know, not old enough, right? So yeah, that's right. Yeah, Nev Campbell is 40, what's she, 48? 49? 40, she's close to 50, if not 50 already. I don't think she's 50. I think she's 48. Die Hard Drummer 84 says, Dave, here's a challenge for you. Name your top 5 favorite things about Halloween Resurrection. My top 5 favorite things about Halloween Resurrection. I will say that the mask, I don't like the mask. I think they should have painted the eyebrows white, but I think the mask is the best mask, the closest to the original in the original series that isn't the original mask. Halloween 4, no. 5, no. 6, no. H2O, no. I think Resurrection is the closest to the original mask. And it's not close, but it's the closest. They just should have painted the eyebrows white. I don't like that they're brown. So the mask is okay. What else in Resurrection? 5 things I like. There's not a lot. There really isn't a lot. Because I don't like the story. Oh, I like the fact that the Myers house returned. And I think the set designers did a great job on recreating the Myers house. It looks like the Myers house. It looks like the Myers house inside. I think that's something I like. I like that idea. The execution is awful, but I like the idea. So that's cool. Third thing I like is, I like when the blonde gets her head chopped. Again, I'm thinking about it in its moment, right? It's not like the original film. It's a full-fledged supernatural slasher to the, you know what I mean? And as far as that goes, I like the blonde girl gets her head chopped off and her head rolls down the stairs. I think that's kind of that's fun. That's fun. I like that. So there's 3. Let me see here. 2 others. Boy, that's hard. Because the score is largely, just completely forgettable. Hate Jamie Lee Curtis at the beginning. Hate the characters. I don't know if I can. I don't think it's possible for me to do it. And if it is, okay, I like, and again, it's not that I would make this choice. I'm saying I like these things. Like basically what you're asking me to find is, look at this gigantic pile of shit. Look at this gigantic pile of dog shit. Gigantic. It's this smelly springtime thawing dog shit. And try to find patches of grass. Try to find some patches of grass within this dog shit. So I'm finding it's not that I think these things are amazing, what I'm telling you. It's all things considered. Here are a few patches of grass, but they're still shit-stained patches of grass. They're patches of grass, but they're still shit-stained patches of grass. So we have to keep that in mind. So when I say I like, you take that with a grain of salt. So within this context, I like when, I like the camera movement of when the 2 characters are like, they're talking and it's in shadow and then the camera moves and Michael's between them and he goes like this with the knife or whatever. That's a cool shot. It's a cool shot, but it doesn't mean that I would do that in a real Halloween movie that I like or that it would be justified. I'm just thinking of, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to find patches of shit stained grass. It's a cool moment. So that's 4. I've done 4. Can I find 5? 5. I would say, man, that's tough. Man, that is tough. I don't think I can do it. I really can't think of anything else in that movie that I like. And it might come to me. I mean, after the show, the show, excuse me, I might be like, oh yeah, that was okay. Or somebody might say something in here. I'm like, yeah, that was all right, I guess. You know what I mean? But I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. And for the sake of time, I want to move on. But good question, though. Good question. Frank Reiger says, Dave, what would be your stipulations if Netflix wanted It's Me, Billy as a miniseries? Well, it really wouldn't be up to me. It would be up to Universal or Blumhouse, whoever owns the rights to Black Christmas. But what would my stipulations be? Well, I don't really know because it's not really up to me. It would be sort of like Blumhouse it would be more like I would hear from them and then they may want it. And then it would be more like, I don't know. I would say, but I understand. I understand what you're saying. Okay. If they wanted to turn It's Me, Billy into a miniseries, which is possible without spoiling anything, I would say that everybody who is working on It's Me, Billy, comes and works on the miniseries, begins to extend this. Now that doesn't mean you don't add more people to it. You would have to. You'd have a bigger crew. You'd have, you know what I mean? But everybody that's worked on it just gets transferred over. And that includes myself and Bruce and Greg, our DP, and Victoria and everybody, our crew gets transferred over. And that's really all I can think of right now because I don't know what, and then of course we would enter into negotiations in terms of pay and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what that would even be. So I don't even like to really speculate on that. But I just know that we've hired such a great group of people who are really passionate about doing justice to Black Christmas. That's never been done before. And I would love to carry them over. Because, like as I always say, half the battle of success is surrounding yourself with the right people. And it makes sense that if we're all working together and we're working from the ground up and there's a rhythm and there's a flow, you'd want to carry that group of people over. So that would be important to me for sure. Beyond that, I have no idea, cost, finance, pay, all that. I have no idea. But of course it would be important that we maintain some level of creative control. That doesn't mean that it cannot be a collaborative thing where people from certain want to come on I'm cool with that. But I really hope we can maintain final say in that because there would be reasons why, obviously It's Me, Billy is so good that they're coming to us saying, hey, we want to do this. Well, obviously our creative choices have led to you believing that. So you need to continue to trust in our creative choices. So that would be important. Whether that would happen, who knows? But, those are things that you discuss and negotiate on. And maybe there's a happy medium that we're like, okay, yeah, no, we understand that. Okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a good question though, man. It's a dream. It'd be really awesome. I'll tell you that. Evil Alex says, after It's Me, Billy, will you make original films? I think you and Bruce have many great ideas, all horror. For sure. But, sometimes people ask, why don't you just go make an original film now? And what's the point of these fan films? And Vince DeSanti, who of course is the writer, director, co-producer, creator of Never Hike Alone in the Snow, he was on the show on Tuesday, and he said it best. He said, because nobody funds original films. On Indiegogo, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Because now, if Vince was to fund an original film now on Indiegogo, he would probably do better. He depending on what his budget was, he would probably be able to make it because he has this portfolio of Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow. But a lot of the times we use properties and proven properties and IPs that people are already excited about, produce quality work, and then they go, oh, this is. But if I decided to launch an Indiegogo campaign for Port Robinson Road, which is the original feature I want to do, it's my baby. It's been my baby for like 20 something years. It would make a little bit because I have a little bit of a following, but it would be much more difficult because that's a feature film. To do that kind of movie, we're looking at $500,000 at minimum. That's going to be difficult to do on Indiegogo without any sort of portfolio for me to say, hey, look, and my little Halloween fan films, as fun as they are, they're not the quality that I want to throw out there to say, hey, give me $500,000. Look at this. That's not what you do. that's one reason why It's Me, Billy is so important too, is because the quality and hopefully will speak for itself and go, wow, look what these guys did with this. Okay. That's why these fan films are so important. They're not just important to keeping the properties out there. They're important for us as filmmakers to showcase what we can do and, for people to take notice and maybe be able to do those original films one day. But unfortunately, unless you have a portfolio that is already rich with quality work, funding an original piece on Indiegogo is much harder to do, especially when it's a feature and is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So yeah, but I'm not against it. I mean, we have a lot of original ideas. Bruce has this really amazing sci-fi one that he wants to do. That's his baby. That is fucking amazing. And of course I have Port Robinson Road. So, oh yeah, like for sure we have, ideas, but these things don't come cheap. So It's Me, Billy is not just important to Black Christmas fans. It's not just important for us just to, because we care about the IP and Black Christmas and the property, but it's also important to us to put our best foot forward to say, hey, look what we can do. Look what we've done, and because there's no doubt in my mind that, I mean, if anybody has set himself up to be first in line to direct a real Friday the 13th movie, and what does that even mean now? I mean, look at his fucking movie. I mean, look at his trailer. I mean, it looks pretty real to me, but in terms of it being officially recognized by the rights holders, right? I mean, if Vince isn't first in line, he better be in the fucking discussion. Like, Vince better be in the discussion if he's not first. They would be. And I'm not just talking about the quality that he's dishing out. That's great. But the knowledge that he has, the passion that he has for the continuity and the love and the respect that he has for the property. If he's not first in line, he better be in the fucking discussion. If there's a lineup of like 5 potential people that they want to do this, he better be fucking in that lineup. He better be. And he's had talks with certain people. So, and yeah, I mean, and he would never be in the discussion if it wasn't for Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow and whatever else he's going to do, right? So, that's why it's so important. It's so important. Let me see here. Super chat comes in from Mystery Emoji Films again. Thanks very much, buddy. Laugh out loud. Would have lost if that H8 was on Jeopardy. Would have lost if that H8 was on Jeopardy. Oh, if that question was like a Jeopardy question, name 5. Is that what you're talking about? I probably would have. Yeah, I probably would have. Yeah, no, I definitely would have. I think that's what you mean, right? Yeah, no, I would have. Joanna from Canada sends in another very generous super chat. Thank you so much, Joanna. Really, really appreciate you supporting the channel like that. Says, hey, Dave, you probably already mentioned this, but when are you hoping to officially release It's Me, Billy? And will any favorite wardrobe pieces from the original Black Christmas make a cameo? Not the original pieces, but remade for It's Me, Billy. Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, if we can shoot It's Me, Billy in November and everything goes off without a hitch and everything's cool, we will enter post-production in December. And maybe by spring, maybe is our goal by spring. I mean, I know that, hey, it'd be cool to release it at Christmas time. But if we're ready to go, we might be so excited that we may not want to wait, and we can release it whenever the fuck we want. So maybe it'll be a Christmas in July thing. I don't know, right? And it's not, I mean, listen, it's not, we're not going up against any sort of box office. We're not going up against, would we do better online if we release it at Christmas time? Maybe, but we'll see. We'll see. It likely will. If we shoot at the end of November, you will likely not have to wait till the following December to see the movie. It will not be ready in time for this Christmas because there's just too much work to do. You may get, if we release the movie okay, if we shoot at the end of November, I'm fairly confident, and I think Bruce would back me up on this. If we shoot at the end of November, I'm very confident that by Christmas this year, you will get a teaser trailer. You'll get a teaser trailer. I'm pretty confident in that. Now remember, this might be like a 30-minute movie, so it's not like you're going to get a, but you'll get a teaser. I'm pretty confident. Not necessarily with an official release date, but you'll get a teaser for sure. More like a coming soon kind of thing. And then we move into, and then, we continue post. I think I said pre-production. I meant post-production if I said pre. So yeah. And then we'll see what happens next year. Now, if we can't shoot at the end of November, you won't get a teaser at Christmas, and we have to push into next year. Well, then if we shoot in like February or March, then the film will probably be released in the fall at that point. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of hoping we don't have to do that, because we've been working so hard to kind of do it this year. So fingers crossed, wear your masks, because that'll help us. Maybe not in the States, but although, maybe in the States, who knows? And then of course, as far as wardrobe pieces go, depends on what you mean by wardrobe. Let's just say that yes and no, maybe from a certain point of view. I'll just leave it at that. Wow, 156 people watching. You guys are awesome. Hey, Womp Stomp Films is here. They can also ask me for my recommendations. Haha, I tuned in at the right time, I guess. Womp Stomp. Hey, how you doing, Vince? Great to see you here. Yes. Yes, they can. What the hell was I just talking about then? I forget what I was talking about, but yes. If you have any questions for Vince, reach out to him, because he's a busy dude. And he may not be able to get back to everybody now that I've said that. Sorry, Vince. But certainly, and remember, whenever you're reaching out to anybody, shorter's always better. Short and sweet's always much easier to respond to. But what was I talking about that made you, I forget now. There's so many things going by, but whatever it is, Vince can correct me if I'm wrong on that, and hopefully I'm not. Let me see here. Gary Rangel says, Dave, would you have been down if Lori had visited the graves of not only her friends, but the grave of Dr. Loomis? Yeah, sure, if it was executed properly. Although it might be strange if Dr. Loomis's grave was in Haddonfield. I mean, maybe she goes off and visits, maybe his grave is in Smith's Grove or something like that, or somewhere else. I think if they were all in the same cemetery, that would be very convenient. But certainly if it didn't require too much, if it was believable, yeah, okay, sure. And ironically, it may not have been believable if she's like looking at the graves of Judith, and then goes over to Annie, Bob, and Linda, and then walks over here to Dr. Loomis. That might seem a little too convenient, but I mean, hey, it's all in the execution, right? All in the execution. Jonathan Nichols says, Dave, would you consider putting CGI snow in the movie, or would that look stupid? Well, I mean, again, when you're talking about CGI snow, it depends on what you're talking about. Snow falling, like flurries? Sure. I mean, that might be something we may do. It's got to look believable. It can't look too digital. CGI snow on the ground, that's a whole other ball game right there. I mean, that's getting a VFX artist to do that, and it's got to look believable, and it's got to cover a lot of ground. And you have to have the care, like, and how do you do that? Do you do that? Are our characters walking through that CGI snow? Is it just for establishing shots? Is it just like it depends, right? There's a lot of talk there. I would rather, in that case, if there's no snow, and like I said, we're shooting at a time of year here in Canada where all the leaves will be off the trees. The weather is changing. There may not be snow, but it should be bleak, gloomy, cold. It's the end of November, right? You have that, and we get green Christmases up here all the time. So in an ideal scenario, snow would be cool. But then too much snow would be problematic as well. So it's sort of that balance. But as long as things are dreary, you know, and cool and yeah, the addition of some light flurries maybe in post-production, that can always help to sort of make it feel more authentic. But beyond that, you know, you don't want the snow to be, too digital, you know, and kind of like, oh, I can tell they added in snow here. You know what I mean? And certainly compositing snow on the ground would be a whole other ball game, you know, and that's just, that's intense. I mean, that would be like saying, hey, Vince, don't worry about it. We'll just CGI this whole fucking forest in snow. That's a whole other logistical nightmare right there, right? You know what I mean? So, you know, at least, I mean, you know, Vince, if he's in the room, can certainly speak to that. But ideally, you want the snow to be authentic, you know, because again, you know, you get all the nuances and the subtleties of the details of the snow, you know, and you don't have to worry about it in snow afterwards. I'm not too worried about it. You know, the only thing that would really cripple us is if we have an unusually weird, warm November where it's like, you know, 80 degrees out and it's warm and sunny and the leaves are on the tree. It's like, what the hell? Well, then we may have a bit of a problem. But if it's a typical Canadian Ontario November, late November, we should be fine. We should be fine. Stuart Johnson says, Dave, if the Batman can give a trailer which doesn't come out till next year, could we have got Halloween Kills one maybe at Halloween? Yes, you probably could, but you're not going to. Well, I mean, I can't say that for certain. You may get something. You're not going to get a trailer. You're not going to get a trailer for Halloween. You won't. I know you won't. There may be a little something, like another little featurette or something like they released last Halloween. I could see there being something. I think it would be strange for Halloween to come and go and Blumhouse and Universal not to release something. Something. Now, again, something can be, you know, something could be very disappointing for you, but I could see there being something. Full-fledged trailer? No, I don't think you're going to get it at all. Don't think you're going to get it all. Let me see here. Tabitha Short. Hey, Tabitha. Would you guys shoot some scenes of snow falls after you have shot the film, but not finished completing? Great question. Depends, right? Because where we're shooting is quite a way away from Toronto. So we have to make sure that, you know, reshoots may not be in the budget. Or we launch another little Indiegogo campaign to make it in the budget. You know, and it's possible. But ideally, we would like to make sure that we get everything we need there. And like I said, I mean, I'm confident, guys. I'm confident that it will look, that you will feel the Christmas spirit there. You will feel, because there wasn't a lot of snow in Black Christmas either. I mean, there was some, but there wasn't a lot. You know, and if we get a dusting, great. If there's no snow, that's okay. It'll just look dark, dreary, and gloomy. And like I said, I mean, I think over the last 10 years, we've had more green Christmases here than we've had white Christmases. I really do. The important factor is not always the snow. It's about the feeling. It's about the feeling. That feels cold to me. It feels cold. There's some flurries there. Okay, I can buy this. That it's in and around that time. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when it comes. Let me see. Tabitha Short says you could always wet the roads too, make it look like some snow fell and then melted. Yes, that's true. That is true. Of course, that time of year where we're shooting, it may even be that way anyway. Who knows? We'll see. Oliver Mercer says the new No Time to Die 007 trailer is out and it looks very cool. Very cool. I haven't seen it, so I'm going to definitely check that out. Because obviously it probably dropped while I was doing this show. Johnny T says, Dave, what are your thoughts on Stallone announcing a Rocky IV director's cut? Awesome. It's 35 years since 1985. So the 35th anniversary since Rocky IV. I look forward to seeing it. I can't wait. I hear he's maybe taking out Paulie's robot, which is a little unfortunate. That's unfortunate because I kind of understand, but you know, it's so like, I hope it's not being taken out because of any sort of misogynistic kind of, it's a fucking robot. It's a movie. It's just fun. It's fun. It's 1985. I really think people need to, anyways. Amar Allergic. Yeah, I think that's it. Allergic. You know me when I start to phonetically say people's names. I think they released the poster on Halloween. I disagree. I don't think you're going to get a poster either. Now, you might, again, I mean, but I just, feelings I'm getting from my sources and rumblings, I don't think, you're definitely not getting a trailer. You're definitely not getting a trailer. But that doesn't mean you won't get, I think it will be very unusual for Halloween to pass and not have something. But that something may not be very big. Just keep that in mind too. Just maybe another feature that shows you a little bit or some photos. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. Awoken Nightmare. I like that name. Awoken Nightmare says, Dave, any plans to have little American flags placed all around the house? No. No, but the movie does take place. It is supposed to be in the States, of course. So, that is something that, because obviously the original, funny enough, the original Black Christmas, although it was a Canadian movie shot in Toronto, it's supposed to take place in the States. It doesn't say where. Now, the town is Bedford. Listen, we have a Bedford here in Canada. I know there's a Bedford in Pennsylvania, I think. It doesn't necessarily mean it's Bedford, Pennsylvania, although it could be, because you obviously guys get all the snow and the weather that we do here too. So certainly it could have been, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's Bedford, Pennsylvania. But I get the impression that it's somewhere in the Northeast. That's my impression. Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan, Maine. I get the impression that it's somewhere kind of up there is where I think it's supposed to be. But I have searched and searched hard for anything that says that, it's this state. And I can't find anything on the original Black Christmas saying that it is this specific state. It's supposed to be the States. We know that. And it's Bedford, but no idea what state. So, but it's one of those. It's Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, Maine, New Jersey. It's like somewhere there. Probably not New Jersey, but somewhere there. One of the Northeast states, I think. Maybe Illinois, maybe. But, somewhere around there is what I think. Geeked Out Turtle Fan 40 says, Dave, thoughts on the Exorcist remake coming out in 2021? I personally feel that it doesn't need to be remade because it's just to generate money from a very popular film. It doesn't need to be remade. The Exorcist is not just a horror film. The Exorcist is a drama. It's a horror drama. It's so rich with character and nuance and subtext and character development, and it's such an amazing movie. And I have no confidence that they will remake The Exorcist with any sort of class. It's just going to be a CGI fest. It'll be The Exorcist, but it'll be like watching any other CGI horror movie you watch today that deals with spirits and stuff. Now, will they take it a little more? I mean, could they, churn out a Dr. Sleep? Where you're like, wow, like it's the Exorcist remake, but it's got like a classy, more mature, vibe to it, like Dr. Sleep. I know Dr. Sleep was not a remake of The Shining, but I'm just saying, like The Shining, one of the greatest, most popular psychological horror films of all time. You do a sequel, to some people it's blasphemous. It comes out and it's like, wow, you know what? They handled that with care. Could the same thing happen with The Exorcist being a remake? I hope so. You're never going to capture the genius and the cultural impact of an Exorcist remake like you did with The Exorcist in 1973 because of its time. It just was a very different time. Things have changed. But could you turn out a movie that, is mature, classy, takes itself seriously, and is not a teeny bopper CGI horror movie? Yeah, you could. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that at the very least, it's like Dr. Sleep in the sense of, wow. Now, I haven't seen Dr. Sleep yet, but I know the general consensus of it, where it's like, this was good. This was, they paid homage correctly. You know, it's not a cheesy teeny bopper. It was handled with a certain, now I'm not saying everybody liked it, but I'm just saying that's the general consensus. Hopefully that's what they do with The Exorcist. It's more Dr. Sleep in terms of its maturity and respect to what's come before, rather than like Slender Man or The Nun. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it's not that kind of shit, because it can be that kind of shit very easily. And when you're remaking one of, if not arguably, you can make an argument for it, the greatest horror film ever made, I would hope that they know we can't fuck around here. We need to take this very seriously from the ground up, and not go into it expecting to make a better movie, but at the very least to pay that homage, you know, but I have no confidence they will. Joanna from Canada sends in a super chat. Thank you, Joanna. Says, if It's Me, Billy is very successful and catapults you into feature films, will you still have a Patreon and Saturday movie nights with us? I may have to move up to the third level team McRae. I plan, well, yeah, I mean, it all depends. I don't ever plan on changing the price of my Patreon. Again, everything that's made through Patreon and my channel goes back into the channel. And what that simply means is it goes back into, it's my time. Obviously, my time is that's part of it, because it's, I mean, I do a lot of these shows, and my schedule is around now. It's scheduled around myself and my assistant that handles all of my VO bookings. We're working around that so I can have more time to do this show. And, it's my time that it's being paid for, because this time is being taken away from voiceover stuff. Now, I hopefully make that up, but sometimes people are like, oh, Dave's not available at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. We'll hire this guy instead, right? Sometimes that happens in the entertainment industry, and I'm very aware of that. So that's part of it. The upgrade of the equipment, the upgrade of the software, the wear and tear of everything. Guests, there's some guests that require appearance fees that I'm working on, that it goes into that as well. So there's a lot of things that it's not just, you sit down and do this. There's a lot of groundwork. There's a lot of legwork that goes into things like this. But I don't plan on ever, but nobody has to send in super chats. I'm not just answering super chats. Some people just answer it, right? I know there are some shows that's all they do. That's all they take, because that's their bread and butter. They have to do that because it's their sole income. I don't have to do that. And so that's why I'm not doing it. But I appreciate the super chats, obviously, because it helps to keep, these channels going. Because if there isn't money that's made from the super chats, well then, eventually if somebody comes along and says, hey, Dave, we want to book you for this, it's like, well, McRae Live, or it's this. You know what I mean? It has to be that. It has to take priority. So, it really does help. And it really does keep these shows going, and helps me to make those executive decisions on, well, I'm not making as much, doing this, of course, as I am doing the voiceover, but it helps to keep these things going, because, it really is about the passion. I mean, people have to understand that you don't make significant money on YouTube unless you're Joe Rogan. I mean, nobody is making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not making thousands of dollars on YouTube. It's, nobody, my view count is not high enough. The super chats are not high enough. YouTube already takes 30%, right? So, I mean, really, I'm doing this for the love of this, and there are shows that I do that I know, like, do I think that, this show is going to get 10,000 views? No. Most of the shows I do don't get 10,000 views. I don't do it for the views. I do it because I love talking to you guys. I love talking about the things that we talk about, and that's why I'm doing it. And sometimes I sacrifice to make that happen, because I really enjoy this process. But certainly it would all depend the price of things would never change. It would just come down to commitment then, right? If I'm catapulted into doing feature films, I'm hired to do that. Well, I'm just not going to have the time to do a lot of the things that I do here. But then there would be a restructuring, there would be a restructuring, and I would want to restructure it then, right? And maybe Patreon is restructured to there's another tier maybe, and you guys get insight into certain things that I'm doing then. And I really don't know how that would work, but just know that the price points on Patreon, not going to change. I actually want to add to Patreon, but I want to add more things to it for you guys. But I've been hesitant to do that because, again, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. I'm already doing 4 shows a week, right? Plus, like this week, I had 2 dudes on Sunday. I had McRae Live Tuesday, McRae Live Thursday. I don't have McRae Live tomorrow because I'm working with Bruce, but that's a whole thing. I have Thorazine Saturday morning, Saturday movie night, Saturday night, and then 2 dudes Monday night. So, within inside of a week, there's like 6 live shows. That's a lot of prep, a lot of work, and I'm doing the voiceover as well. So it's a lot of work, but I love it because I love connecting with you guys and talking to you guys. And it's been so much fun to share my passion and my knowledge with you guys, and for you guys to share your passion and your knowledge with me. And I sincerely appreciate it. But I don't plan on ever moving to a super chat only, channel and things like that, because I don't have to do that, which is good, because now super chats always take priority because they're super chats, but I don't plan on just doing that. So I think that answered it, hopefully, but how that's all going to work, if that were to happen, I really don't know, but I don't plan on changing anything or just moving solely to super chats or things like that, just so you guys know. Just so you guys know. Yeah. Edwin Sordo says, rest in peace, Dave's sleep schedule. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, I'm up every morning at like 7:30 a.m., 8 o'clock. And I'm getting emails from my agents. There's auditions that come in. I'm doing auditions before I do this show. Sometimes I'm doing sessions before I do this show. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll get, my agent will say, hey, Dave, can you make a session this morning at 11 a.m.? And I'm like, oh, well, it depends. What's the rate? If it's not, if it's a small rate, I might be like, can't make it. I'm doing this show. That's a sacrifice. Because I love you guys. I love doing this show. But if it's a big rate, if it's like, no, it's a national spot for Coke and it's going to pay, $5,000 because it's, it's going to run for 6 weeks and, whatever the case is. Well, yeah, obviously it's like, yeah, I got to go do that, because that's my job. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's everything that's made in here goes right back into here. Keeps me doing this. If there was nothing that was coming in from the channel at all, then I couldn't do it as much as I could, because I'd have to say, well, I have all this. Sorry guys, I have this takes priority. But the fact that there's a little bit of money coming in from the channel, and it's a little bit, but there's a little bit, it allows me to go, what do I want to do today? You know what I mean? And that's really important. That's really important. So all the super chats are greatly appreciated. You guys keep these shows going. You guys allow me the opportunity to be able to, at certain times, pick and choose what I want to do today. Do I want to do this or it's never as much as, what the VO will be, of course, but it allows me that opportunity. And that's really important. That's what makes you guys awesome and amazing. Like, I love talking to you guys. You guys are amazing. So just know that. Darren Sand says, Dave's selling out. Only Kanye and Bill Gates will be able to afford to join Saturday Movie Night. No, the price point is never changing. It's never changing. It's been that price point for what? 2 years now, 2.5 years. I've never changed it. I will never. If anything, I would like to add to it. Like I said, I know you're just kidding. But if anything, I'd like to add to it. Maybe another tier or something more. That's what I really want to do. But I'm already so swamped with everything going on. I'm like, I'm somebody that does not like to overpromise or to promise something and not being able to deliver. That I don't like that, because I really feel like I'm letting you guys down. I take that very seriously. I take it to heart. I like to say something and deliver on it. Like, even just me rescheduling the 100th episode tomorrow, Like it sucks. I hate doing that. I'm like, fuck, I feel like I'm letting people down. Now, obviously it's because I'm doing, the shot list with Bruce. And it's a very intense, deep thing. But there's a part of me that's like, damn, I hate doing that. Because I take this seriously and I love talking to you guys and I really appreciate your continued support, and without you, I mean, it sounds like a cliche, it sounds cheesy, but it's true. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. Without you, the movie wouldn't be possible. The movie wouldn't be happening, so, but yeah, no, if anything, I'd like to add is what I want to do, but I'm taking baby steps with that. I know my Patreon's been the same for a little bit, but if it ain't broke, I don't want to fix it right now. But all my patrons out there just know that I'm thinking about this. I want to kind of spice some things up a bit, try something new, but I just don't want to overpromise yet. I want to get to a point where I'm not overpromising and I can deliver on it. But you guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Darren Sand says, new platinum member tier. Yeah, new platinum member tier. 10 grand for the month. But you get everything. You get everything. What the hell is that? 10 grand. That'd be amazing. No. Let me see here. Joanna from Canada says, we love and appreciate you, Dave. You have the best followers and mods. Well, thank you so much, Joanna. I really appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. It does. I think it never ceases to amaze me at, like, every now and then you got a dick that, walks into the chat room, right? But for the most part, all you guys are awesome. It's true. Like, you guys are amazing. And I get excited to jump on and talk with you, and you keep the channel going. I mean, if you weren't here, I'd be talking to myself, which I probably could do. But anyway, let me see here. But you are right. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I got some pretty awesome mods. I will say that. Okay, I got to skedaddle here in a second, but we'll just take a couple last ones here. Let me see here. Tab of the Shorts. Yeah, does Conway make that much money, Darren? That's funny. You guys are hilarious. Marcus85 says, I get it. I appreciate daily videos and that takes time and time is money. It's hard. It really is. One of the reasons why, like I said, I moved from standalone videos, which I still do from time to time, to live is because of time. That's why. It's because of time. If I was still doing just standalones, you wouldn't be getting as much content as you do. And I understand that, I've moved from standalones to more podcast form. And it's not like it's going to be, I mean, listen, it's not like this is it forever. I mean, who knows? We're coming up to our 100th episode. Maybe we'll go to the end of the year and I'll think, you know what? Let's go back to standalone videos for a bit. And then we'll pick up McRae live in the spring. Like, who knows, right? I want to keep it fresh, but I needed to do this because of It's Me, Billy, because of Dylan's New Nightmare, because of my voiceover schedule. Things were getting really busy. And I thought if I can weave this into the schedule, then it can be better. And then there's set days and times where I'm going to be there for the most part. But it is, yeah, time is money. And there's a lot of work that goes into this. And anybody who has a YouTube channel knows there's a lot of work that goes into this. And doing like 4 or 5 shows I mean, there are some guys out there, like, who are the big ones in the movie space? Like your John Campias and your oh God, I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, what he does, my God. I mean, I can't even begin. Now that's his full-time job, mind you. So, again, this is not my full-time job, but it's, yeah. I mean, I have a schedule that I schedule it all in. And then if voiceover work comes in, I can make the decision. I can go, okay, well, how much money is the channel generating, right? Through views, through super chats, things like that. And how are we looking here? Can I afford to say to this buyer, or that audition, I can go, you know what? I'm not going to audition for that because it wouldn't pay me. The channel did very well this month, so I can actually concentrate on the channel. That's what this affords me to do. But then sometimes I'm like, channel's a bit slow because I haven't been talking about Halloween, or whatever the case is. Yeah, I'm going to have to reschedule that because I got to do this, this gig. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a big thing or something, like it's a trailer for It or something like that, right? So it all depends. But it goes back into the channel. Like, it doesn't it's not going into my pocket per se. It's going into the upgrading of the software, the appearance fees of, and not every guest has an appearance fee, but there's some that I know that probably will, you know, and so it goes into that. It goes into everything, you know, goes into everything, man. You guys are awesome. Larry Ruggles says, well, you know, David, is 2020. And well, you know, it's 2020. Anything's possible. That is true. That is true. It is 2020. Anything is possible. Hey, listen, folks, I have to skedaddle. So that is going to do it for episode 99 of McRae Live. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you to the super chats again coming in today, especially Joanna from Canada, who was just going hard into the paint there. You're amazing, Joanna. Thank you so much. Thank you to my moderators, Frank Riker, Tabitha Shore, Darren Sands, and Jason Knight, for doing what you do. You guys are amazing. Sincerely, you are. You, all of you, have helped to bring Billy back. We are now in pre-production on It's Me, Billy. This is exciting. Awesome stuff. I will not be back tomorrow because I am neck deep into the shot list with Bruce tomorrow. We really want to finish it off. We have 8 pages left. We really want to finish that off. So that's what I will be doing all day tomorrow. So no McRae Live tomorrow, but Saturday morning for my level 3 patrons, Thorazine, 11 o'clock a.m. And then Saturday night for my level 2 and 3 patrons, it is Saturday movie night. And I haven't checked the poll, but the last time I checked, it looks like we're going to be watching Predator, I think is what we're going to be watching. So I haven't checked, though. I got to double check to see if it's still there. But that's what it looks like we're watching on Saturday night. So, but we'll see. We'll see. So that is going to do it for me. So, yeah, in the meantime and in between time, I guess I will talk to you guys soon. You guys, like I said, you're amazing. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can. Facebook.com/manythingsdave McRae. The link is in the description. Links to my official websites are down there. My Instagram, my Twitter, my IMDb, everything is down below in the description. So make sure you check them out if you want. If not, well, that's okay too. So take care, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Alrighty. Cheers.